lights taking you nowhere. Angel, come up, baby. Look at that sky, life's begun. Nights are warm and the days are young. Come up, baby. This must be the lost but soul. Once I'm begging you, save a little soul. Years go. Come up, baby.
Welcome to day 2 of our Alsace holiday. Today, we travel from Strasbourg to Rosheim, where it seems we had the whole town to ourselves. Then a short jaunt to Obernai to see the magnificent town square and the ramparts. We then drive up to Mount St. Odile, an abbey that was built in 690 AD by St. Odile's father. Finally, we travel to Kayersburg Vignoble and witness our first wedding of the trip with guests deck out in cowboy gear. And we hike up to the Chateau du Schlossberg. Our first stop on the second day in the Alsace-Lorraine region was the town of Rosheim. This little town at the foot of Mount St. Odile near Obernai is renowned for its beautiful Romanesque buildings. The Romanesque town has 4 monumental gates, which were once part of the old ramparts, one of which features a clock tower, a Renaissance well with 6 buckets, and a medieval garden adorned with domestic and wild plants. This calm and peaceful spot, far from the crowds, is a lovely place to stop for a rest. The medieval town of Obernai has half-timbered houses cascading with flowers from the flower boxes. The houses of the town are painted in the bright colors of the Alsace region. Each house is a different color and a different shutter colors. There are 2 magnificent churches called St. Peter and St. Paula, and a belfry that watches over the town of Obernai. The 6 Buckets Well is a Renaissance-style well built in the 16th century in the center of town. There's also an old corn exchange hall, and the local people have an open-air market once a week since 1301 AD. There are many cafes and restaurants and a lot of winemaking in Obernai.
My God.
Which one would you take?
You know what that sign says? Calorie free.
Well, get in there.
See? Free. Calorie free.
The letters are there.
F-R-E. C-A. Oh, I missed the L.
Our next stop was Mount St. Odile. On the way up into the Vosges Mountains, we passed through several fields filled with grapevines. The geography of the wine-growing area in Alsace is determined by two main factors, the Vosges Mountains in the west and the Rhine River in the east. The vineyards are concentrated in a narrow strip running roughly north to south direction on the lower eastern slopes of the Vosges, at altitudes of 175 to 420 meters. Those altitudes provide a good balance between temperature, drainage, and sun exposure under Alsace's growing conditions. Mount St. Odile is the site of an important monastery situated in the picturesque location on the top of the mountain in Vosges. Until the 7th century, the location was the site of the Chateau de Homburg, which was owned by Duke Etienne, the father of Odile. Entering the main building, we found a large paved courtyard with ancient lime trees and a 12th century fountain. The church in the courtyard is a 17th century Baroque-style reconstruction of a 12th century church and contains stained glass windows telling the story of the life of St. Odile. Next to the church, a second courtyard contains pretty gardens and a statue of St. Odile, leading to a chapel where you can see the tomb and sarcophagus containing the remains of St. Odile. This leads on to the cloisters and then the large terrace with amazing views across the countryside and another statue of St. Odile. There are two small chapels on the terrace. The Chapel of Tears is in the location where Odile cried and prayed for her father to save him from purgatory, while the second is the Chapel of Angels, built in the 11th century.
Kayersburg, the mountain of the emperor, certainly deserves its prestigious name. A tourist hotspot, the little city houses some of the most beautiful half-timbered houses of the Renaissance in its entirely pedestrian center. Most of these houses date back to the 15th and 16th centuries. The city of Kayersburg is dominated by castle ruins, which only consists now of a beautiful round tower. The view from its summit offers a panorama of the city, the Valley of Weiss, the vineyards in the plain of Alsace, and beyond, the Black Forest in Germany. As we strolled through the misty rain, we found a young couple getting married. All of the invited guests were wearing Old West costumes straight out of the Western set in Arizona. We paused to watch the ceremony.
Aujourd'hui, je vais vous présenter à vous Ali, que j'ai vu sur mon aile depuis de nombreuses années. Elle a atteint la fleur de son âge, 35 ans. Je suis heureux qu'elle ait trouvé une femme pour l'accompagner de nombreuses années. Que les profits soient nombreux. Parce que comme on dit dans la Western des Unions, tout pour le pognon! Que ta vie soit pleine d'argent, c'est l'essentiel.
Ça, c'est les deux qui étaient contactés. En fait, tout est le nom.
Thank you for watching our second day adventure in Alsace-Lorraine area of France. Check back for more videos coming soon.